The stars looked the same as they always did. Captain Junho Park stood on the bridge of the Tenacity, watching the endless darkness outside. His ship was small compared to the massive vessels other species used. It had only 200 crew members. Most of them were scientists and engineers, not soldiers. The Tenacity was an exploration ship built to map distant star systems and study planets that nobody cared about. Junho liked it that way. He had spent 20 years in Earth's military before taking this job. He had seen enough fighting. Now, at 45 years old, he just wanted to explore the quiet parts of space. His crew was good. They worked hard and never complained about the boring assignments. "Captain, we're detecting something strange," said Lieutenant Minho Choi from the tactical station. Minho was younger, only 32, but he had sharp instincts. He had served in the Defense Forces before joining the Exploration Corps. Junho walked over to look at the screen. "What is it?" "A distress signal. Very strong. Coming from Sector 779. Minho's fingers moved across his console, bringing up more information. "It's a Valorian ship." Dr. Hana Kim, the chief medical officer, looked up from her station. She was a kind woman with gentle eyes, the type of person who cared about everyone around her. "Valorians? They're peaceful people. What would they be doing out here?" "Let me hear the signal," Junho said. The bridge speakers crackled to life. A voice came through, speaking in the common galactic language. The voice was filled with terror. "This is the colony ship Bright Hope. We are under attack by Kreth pirates. Our shields are failing. We have 50,000 civilians on board, including children. Please, anyone who can hear this, we need help. We have less than 6 hours before—" The message cut off, then started again from the beginning. It was a loop. Yuna Lee, the chief engineer, stood up from her station. She was young and brilliant, known for fixing things that should not be fixable. "Captain, if they only have 6 hours, we're the only ship close enough to reach them." Junho felt his stomach tighten. He knew what that meant. "Show me the tactical situation." Minho brought up a holographic display. It showed the Valorian colony ship surrounded by more than 40 Kreth vessels. The Kreth were pirates and slavers, feared across the galaxy. They had powerful weapons and no mercy. "How many people do we have who can fight?" Junho asked quietly. 40 Marines, sir, and maybe another 60 crew who have basic combat training." Minho's voice was steady, but Junho could hear the concern. "The Kreth have at least 40 warships. Each one is bigger than us." Hana stepped closer to Junho. "We can't fight them. It would be suicide." "I know," Junho said. He looked at the distress signal information again. 50,000 people. Families. Children. "Where's the nearest Galactic Council fleet?" 3 days away, sir," Minho answered. 3 days, Junho repeated. The Valorians had 6 hours. The bridge was silent. Everyone knew what the captain was thinking. Everyone knew it was impossible. The Tenacity had a few small weapons, meant for defending against asteroids or small threats. They were not a warship. They were explorers. Yuna spoke first. "Captain, I can boost our shields. Maybe give us 30 minutes of protection against their weapons." "I can treat wounded in the cargo bay," Hana added. "We can make room for maybe 3,000 evacuees if we push everything together." Minho nodded slowly. "Sir, my Marines are ready. We all knew the risks when we signed up." Junho looked at each of them. Then he looked at the rest of the bridge crew. Young pilot Jiwan Kong sat at the helm, hands ready on the controls. The communications officer, barely 25 years old, waited for orders. They were all looking at him with the same expression. They wanted to help. "The Galactic Council tells us to avoid conflict," Junho said. "They say we should let their fleets handle these situations. They'll tell us this is not our problem." "But it is our problem," Yuna said, "because we're the only ones who can hear them crying for help." Junho closed his eyes for a moment. He thought about his daughter back on Earth. She was 16. He thought about all the children on that Valorian ship. Someone's daughter. Someone's son. He opened his eyes. Set course for the Valorian ship. Maximum speed. The crew moved instantly. Jiwon's fingers flew across the helm controls. Course plotted. We'll arrive in 4 hours and 20 minutes. Minho, I want every weapon we have ready. Yuna, boost those shields and anything else you can think of. Hana, prepare the cargo bay for wounded. Junho sat in his captain's chair. And someone send a message to Earth Command. Tell them what we're doing. Sir, the communications officer said nervously, they'll order us to stand down. Then we'll receive that order after we arrive, Junho replied. Send the message anyway. Tell them humanity does not abandon those who cry for help. As the tenacity jumped to faster than light speed, Junho watched the stars stretch into lines. He knew this was foolish. He knew they would probably die. But he also knew he could not live with himself if he turned away. Hana came to stand beside his chair. You know we can't win this fight, she said softly. No, Junho agreed. But maybe we can buy them time. Maybe the council fleet will hurry. Maybe we can save some of them. Is that enough? She asked. Junho thought about that. It has to be. Because if we don't try, we're telling the universe that some lives don't matter. That's not who we are. That's not who humans are. 4 hours later, the tenacity dropped out of faster than light speed. Ahead of them, they could see the battle. The Valorian colony ship was huge, designed to carry thousands of people across the galaxy to a new home. Its shields glowed and flickered as Kreth weapons hammered against them. The Kreth ships circled like sharks, firing again and again. They haven't noticed us yet, Minho said. We're too small. Good, Junho said. That gives us one advantage. They won't expect us to be stupid enough to interfere. Yuna laughed despite the fear in the room. Stupid enough? That's the human way, isn't it? Junho smiled grimly. Open a channel to the Valorian ship. The screen showed a Valorian captain. The alien had large eyes and blue skin, and those eyes were filled with desperate hope. Please help us. We have children here. We have families. This is Captain Junho Park of the Earthship Tenacity. We're here. We're going to help you. He said it with more confidence than he felt. Hold on just a little longer. The Valorian captain's face showed disbelief, then gratitude, then fear. You're one small ship. They'll destroy you. Maybe, Junho said, but they'll have to catch us first. Park out. He looked at his crew. They were scared. They were also ready. All right, people, let's show the galaxy what humans do when someone needs help. The tenacity dove toward the battle. The tenacity moved through space like a small bird flying toward a pack of wolves. Junho watched the tactical display as they approached the battle. The Kreth ships were large and powerful, covered in weapons. His ship looked like a toy next to them. Yuna, are those shields ready? He asked. As ready as they'll ever be, Captain, Yuna replied from engineering. But I'm telling you, we get hit by their main guns and shields won't matter. We'll be space dust. Then we don't get hit, Junho said simply. Jiwon, how good are you at flying? The young pilot grinned despite her fear. Better than anyone on this ship, sir. Good, because you're about to prove it. Junho studied the tactical map. The Kreth ships were focused on the Valorian colony ship. They were so confident that they had not even posted guards. Minho, I need you to find their commander's ship. Minho worked quickly. Found it. The biggest one, right in the center of their formation. Of course it is, Junho muttered. Pirates love to show off. Jiwon, take us in close to that asteroid field on the left. Yuna, I need you to do something crazy. My favorite kind of order, Yuna said. Can you create an electromagnetic pulse? Something big enough to blind their sensors for a few minutes? There was silence for a moment. Then Yuna laughed. Sir, if I do that, it'll blind our sensors too, and it might damage our engines. Can you do it? Yes, but it's stupid. Perfect. Get it ready. Junho opened a channel to the entire crew. Everyone, listen. We're going to hit them hard and fast. We're going to confuse them. And we're going to save as many Valorians as we can. We're not here to win. We're here to buy time. Understand? The crew acknowledged. Junho could hear the fear in their voices. He could also hear their determination. Back on Earth, Admiral Suji Nam stood in the command center, reading Junho's message. She was a tall woman with gray hair and sharp eyes that had seen too many battles. Around her, officers waited for her orders. "The Tenacity is engaging a Kreth fleet?" one officer asked in disbelief. "That's suicide." "That's courage," Suji corrected. She read the message again. "Humanity does not abandon those who cry for help. Get me the Galactic Council liaison." A few moments later, a holographic alien appeared. The alien was from a species called the Torth, known for their logic and caution. "Admiral Nam, we received your inquiry about the Valorian situation. The Council advises you to order your ship to withdraw. This is not Earth's concern." "Not our concern." Suji's voice was cold. "There are 50,000 innocent people about to die. A regrettable situation, but our fleet cannot arrive in time. Your single ship cannot make a difference. Tell them to withdraw before they are destroyed as well." Suji looked at the alien for a long moment. Then she said, "No." "No?" The alien seemed confused. "I'm not ordering them to withdraw. In fact, I'm sending our entire fleet to support them." Suji turned to her officers. "Mobilize every ship we have. I want them ready to jump in 30 minutes. The alien's image sputtered. "Admiral, this is highly irregular. The Council does not authorize—" "I don't care what the Council authorizes," Suji interrupted. "Those people asked for help." A human ship answered. "Now, humanity will finish what we started." She cut off the communication. One of her officers stepped forward. "Admiral, if we send our entire fleet, Earth will be undefended." "If we don't send our entire fleet," Suji replied, "then we're telling the universe that human lives matter more than alien lives. That's not who we are." She looked at the officer. "Besides, when word gets out about what we're doing, I don't think anyone will be eager to attack Earth." Back at the battle, the Tenacity had reached the asteroid field. Jiwon flew the ship with incredible skill, weaving between the floating rocks. "Yuna, pulse ready?" Junho asked. "Ready, Captain." "Minho, load our torpedo." "Sir, we only have one torpedo," Minho said. "I know. Make it count." Junho watched the Kreth formation. They still had not noticed his small ship. "Jiwon, get us between them and the Valorian ship. Fast." The Tenacity burst from the asteroid field at full speed. Alarms started blaring on the Kreth ships as they finally detected the human vessel. A communication came through. A Kreth commander appeared on screen, looking like a mix between a lizard and a bear, with armor covering most of his body. "What is this? A human ship? You dare interfere?" "This is Captain Junho Park of Earth. Those people are under our protection now. Leave, or face the consequences." The Kreth commander laughed. It was an ugly, harsh sound. "You? One tiny ship? You must be joking." "I never joke about protecting innocents," Junho said calmly. "This is your only warning. Leave now." The Kreth commander stopped laughing. "You humans have always been insignificant. Now I'll show you why you should have stayed hidden." The communication cut off. "Hostile weapons charging," Minho reported. "Yuna, pulse now," Junho ordered. The Tenacity released a massive electromagnetic burst. Every sensor in the area went blind. The Kreth ships stumbled in their formation, confused and unable to see. "Minho, fire the torpedo. Target that asteroid cluster near their commander's ship." The single torpedo shot out from the Tenacity. It flew past the Kreth ships and slammed into the largest asteroid in the nearby field. The explosion was massive. The asteroid shattered into thousands of pieces, and those pieces started moving, pushed by the blast. The Kreth ships, still blind from the pulse, did not see the asteroid storm coming. Huge rocks slammed into their hulls. Smaller ships were destroyed. Larger ships were damaged, their shields flickering. "Jiwon, get us next to the Valorian ship," Junho commanded. The pilot flew through the chaos, dodging asteroids and disabled Kreth vessels. The Tenacity pulled up alongside the massive colony ship. "Hana, start the evacuation. Take whoever you can fit." Dr. Hana Kim was already in the cargo bay with her medical team. The Valorian ship opened its docking ports, and people started pouring across. They were scared, carrying children and small bags of belongings. Keep moving, Hana called out. She saw families holding hands, parents protecting their children. Her heart broke for them. Yuna's voice came over the intercom. Captain, our sensors are coming back online, and the Kreth are recovering too. How many Valorians do we have? Junho asked. 3,000 so far, Hana reported. But there's not much more room. Junho made a quick decision. Take 4,000, squeeze them in, use the hallways if you have to. Sir, that's dangerous, Hana protested. Not as dangerous as staying here, Junho replied. Minho, what's the Kreth status? They're angry, sir. Really angry. They're regrouping and they're all targeting us now. Junho nodded. They had bought some time. They had saved some people. But now, they had to survive. Jiwon, prepare for evasive maneuvers. Yuna, push those engines as hard as you can. Captain, Minho said quietly, we can't outrun them. Not with all this extra weight. Junho knew that. He had always known that. He looked at the tactical display showing the Kreth ships forming up around them. 40 warships against one small exploration vessel. Then something appeared on the sensors. Something big. Actually, many big things. Sir! Minho's voice rose with excitement. Multiple contacts jumping in. Transponders showing they're human ships. It's the Earth Defense Fleet. On the view screen, 200 human vessels appeared in flashes of light. They were not as large as the Kreth ships. They were not as advanced. But there were many of them, and they had come. Admiral Suji's face appeared on the communication screen. Captain Park, sorry we're late. We came as fast as we could. Junho felt relief wash over him. Admiral, good to see you. Good to see you too, Captain. Now let's show these pirates why you don't mess with people under human protection. Suji's expression hardened. All ships, this is Admiral Nam. The Valorian people are under Earth's protection. Kreth fleet, you have one chance to withdraw peacefully. The Kreth commander's response was to fire on the nearest human ship. Well, Suji said calmly, we tried diplomacy. All ships, engage at will. The real battle was about to begin. Space erupted into chaos. The Kreth fleet had 40 warships, each one powerful and deadly. The human fleet had 200 vessels, but most were smaller, less advanced. On paper, the Kreth should have won easily. But humans did not fight like other species. Captain Taehyung Shin commanded Earth's flagship, the Indomitable. He was a veteran of many small conflicts, but nothing like this. He watched his tactical display as the battle began. All ships, remember your training, he said calmly over the fleet channel. Don't fight them the way they expect. Fight them the human way. The Kreth ships moved into a standard formation, the kind used by military forces across the galaxy. It was efficient and proven over thousands of years of warfare. Each ship had its place, supporting the others. The human ships scattered. They broke into small groups, moving in seemingly random patterns. Some flew straight at Kreth vessels, then turned away at the last second. Others circled around, attacking from unexpected angles. A few ships flew into the asteroid field, using the rocks for cover. On the Kreth commander's ship, officers looked confused. What are they doing? This is chaos. They have no formation. Exactly, the commander growled. They're amateurs. Focus fire and destroy them one by one. But it was not that simple. Every time the Kreth targeted a human ship, it would disappear behind an asteroid, or another human vessel would block the shot. The humans worked together, but not in any way the Kreth understood. On board the Indomitable, Taehyung smiled slightly. They don't understand. They think we're confused. Seokjin, take your Marines and prepare for boarding. Commander Seokjin. Oh was in charge of the Marine forces. He was a big man with scars on his face from old battles. Sir, boarding? That's ancient tactics. Exactly. They won't expect it. Taehyung pointed at a Kreth ship on the tactical display. That one has damage to its port side from the asteroid strike. Get in there. Seokjin grinned. Yes, sir. 3 human ships flew in formation, drawing fire from the damaged Kreth vessel. While the Kreth focused on them, a small human transport slipped in close to the damaged section. Marines in combat armor launched themselves across the gap, using magnetic boots to land on the Kreth hull. Inside the Kreth ship, alarms started blaring. Pirates rushed to defend against the boarders, but they were used to ship-to-ship combat, not fighting inside their own vessels. The human Marines moved through the corridors with practiced efficiency, their training taking over. Seokjin led his team to the engine room. "Plant the charges. We're turning this ship into scrap." Back in space, more human ships were employing unusual tactics. Some ships carried nothing but drones, which they launched in swarms. The drones were small and fast, too many to shoot down easily. They crashed into Kreth shields, overloading them. Yuna Lee, still on the Tenacity, watched the battle from the engineering deck. She contacted other human ships on the engineering channel. "Listen, everyone. I modified our engines to create that electromagnetic pulse. I'm sending you the specifications. It's risky, but it works." Engineers across the fleet started implementing her modifications. Soon, multiple human ships were releasing sensor-blinding pulses, creating pockets of darkness in the battle. The Kreth were starting to realize they had made a terrible mistake. These humans did not fight with honor or tradition. They fought dirty, they fought smart, and they fought with a determination that bordered on madness. A human destroyer was disabled, its engines dead. The Kreth ship moved in for the kill. But instead of surrendering, the human captain did something shocking. He aimed his dead ship at the Kreth vessel and used emergency thrusters to ram it. The collision destroyed both ships, but it also created a debris field that damaged 2 more Kreth vessels nearby. "They're insane!" a Kreth officer shouted. "They're killing themselves just to hurt us." The Kreth commander watched in growing horror. In all his years of piracy, he had never seen enemies willing to sacrifice themselves so readily. Most species valued their own lives above all else. They would surrender when defeat seemed certain. Not humans. On the Tenacity, Dr. Hana Kim worked desperately in the cargo bay, which had been converted into a medical center. Wounded Valorians and injured human crew members filled every available space. A young Valorian girl, no more than 7 years old, sat in the corner crying. Hana knelt beside her between patients. "What's your name?" "Sweetheart." "Nari," the girl said in broken common language. "My parents." "I can't find my parents." Hana's heart ached. "We'll find them, I promise. Right now I need you to be brave. Can you help me? I need someone to hold bandages for me." Nari nodded, wiping her tears. She stayed close to Hana, passing her medical supplies. It gave the child something to focus on besides her fear. The battle raged for 2 hours. Human ships fell, destroyed by superior Kreth firepower. But for every human ship lost, they took multiple Kreth vessels with them. Admiral Suji watched the casualty reports coming in. 43 human ships destroyed. Over 11,000 crew members dead or missing. The cost was terrible, but they were winning. "Admiral," her tactical officer reported, "the Kreth are breaking formation. I think they're preparing to retreat." Suji felt no satisfaction in the victory. Too many good people had died. "All ships, let them go. Do not pursue. Our mission was to save the Valorians, not to hunt pirates." Captain Junho Park, still commanding the Tenacity, opened a channel to the Valorian colony ship. The Valorian captain appeared on screen, and Junho could see tears streaming down the alien's blue face. "Thank you," the Valorian captain said simply. "You saved us. You lost so many of your people for us. Why? We're strangers to you." Junho thought about his answer carefully. "Because strangers are just friends we haven't met yet. And friends help each other." The Kreth fleet jumped to hyperspace, leaving behind 26 destroyed warships and countless damaged vessels. The pirate organization would never recover from this defeat. In the aftermath, human ships moved through the debris, searching for survivors. They found some in escape pods, both human and Kreth. Even the Kreth prisoners were treated with dignity, To their surprise, Seokjin and his Marines returned from their boarding mission. They had captured a Kreth ship intact, which intelligence teams would study later. Tai Hyung contacted all remaining ships. "This is Captain Shin. Well done, everyone. Get a count of casualties and damage, and someone start recording everything. The galaxy needs to see what happened here." On the Tenacity, Hana finally found a moment to rest. Nari was still with her, holding her hand. "Dr. Hana, did we win?" "Yes, sweetheart, we won." "But so many people died." Hana pulled the child close. "Yes. Good people died to save you and your people. That's the cost of doing what's right sometimes." "Why did they do it? The humans, I mean. Why did they help us?" Hana thought about Captain Junho's decision to respond to the distress call. She thought about Admiral Suji mobilizing the entire fleet. She thought about the crew members who had died protecting people they had never met. "Because that's what humans do," she said finally. "When someone cries for help, we answer, even if it costs us everything." Junho stood on the bridge of the Tenacity, looking at the Valorian colony ship. It was damaged but intact. 47,000 Valorians had survived. 3,000 were on his ship. The rest were safe on their own vessel, protected by the human fleet. The price had been terrible. 47 human ships destroyed. 12,000 human lives lost. 12,000 families back on Earth who would receive the worst news possible. But 50,000 Valorians were alive. 50,000 people who would see another day, who would reach their new home, who would remember that when they needed help, humanity answered. "Sir," Minho said quietly, "was it worth it?" Junho looked at his tactical officer. "Ask me that question again when you see those Valorian children grow up, Minho. Ask me when they tell their own children about the day humans came to save them. Ask me when we prove to the galaxy that some things matter more than safety." He turned back to the view screen. The battle was over. But Junho had a feeling that something bigger had just begun. The galaxy had seen what humans would do for strangers. Now everyone was watching to see what would happen next. The news spread across the galaxy faster than light itself. Every species, every government, every news channel showed the same footage. Humans, a relatively new species to galactic politics, had mobilized their entire military fleet to save 50,000 aliens they had never met. They had lost 12,000 of their own people in the process. The Galactic Council chamber on the planet Zentara was in chaos. Representatives from hundreds of species argued and shouted. Some were impressed, others were afraid. All of them were confused. Ambassador Minji Huang stood at the human delegation podium. She was a small woman, barely 5 feet tall, but she had a presence that commanded attention. She waited patiently for the chamber to quiet down. The council leader, a tall being from a species called the Dreth, finally called for order. "Ambassador Huang, the council demands an explanation. Why did Earth commit such resources to save a Valorian colony ship? This behavior is unprecedented." Minji looked around the chamber. She could see the fear in some faces, the confusion in others. "With respect, council leader, I don't understand the question." "You don't understand?" The Dreth seemed confused. "Your species lost 12,000 lives for strangers. By any logical calculation, this was a terrible decision. You gained nothing. You lost much. Why?" Minji took a deep breath. "Because someone asked for help, and we heard them. That's all the reason we needed." The chamber erupted again. A representative from a species called the Korthan stood up. "This is madness. Your species is either foolish beyond measure or dangerously unstable. What happens when you decide our planets need help? Will you invade under the guise of protection?" "We don't invade," Minji said firmly. "We help when asked. Those Valorians called for aid. We answered. Nothing more, nothing less." The Valorian ambassador, an elderly male named Dern, stood with tears in his eyes. "The council should be praising humanity, not questioning them. My people owe them a debt that can never be repaid. 50,000 of my people are alive because humans decided compassion was more important than logic." "That's exactly the problem," another ambassador said. "Compassion over logic, emotion over reason. This makes humans unpredictable and dangerous. Historian Yun Pak watched the proceedings from the observation gallery. He was a young man who specialized in recording important galactic events. He had interviewed dozens of survivors from both the Valorian ship and the human fleet. Their stories painted a picture of humanity that the galaxy had never seen before. In his notes, he wrote, "The other species fear what they don't understand. Humans operate on principles that don't fit into their calculations. The galaxy runs on self-interest, careful treaties, and logical decision-making. Humans add something new to the equation. They care." The council session continued for hours. Finally, they reached a decision. The council would neither praise nor punish humanity. They would simply note what happened and move on. Minji was not surprised. The galaxy did not know what to do with humanity's actions. They did not fit into any category the aliens understood. But the Kreth knew exactly how they felt about it. They were furious. Deep in the lawless outer sectors, the surviving Kreth pirates gathered. They came from dozens of different clans, usually enemies of each other. But now they had a common target. "Humans!" roared Kreth warlord Grath, the supreme leader of the largest pirate clan. "They destroyed our ships. They killed our warriors. They humiliated us in front of the entire galaxy." The assembled Kreth leaders growled in agreement. "We must respond," Grath continued. "We must show the galaxy what happens when you interfere with the Kreth. We will gather every ship, every warrior, every weapon we have, and we will destroy Earth itself." One of the clan leaders hesitated. "Earth is defended. They have their fleet." "Their fleet is damaged," Grath said. "They lost ships in the battle. They're weak. And even if they weren't, we will come with such numbers that they cannot resist. I'm calling for a full gathering. Every Kreth clan. Every pirate group that has ever worked with us. We will have 2,000 ships." The chamber fell silent. 2,000 warships. It was an armada that could destroy entire star systems. "When do we attack?" someone asked. 3 weeks, Grath said. "We need time to gather our forces. But then, Earth will burn." On Earth, Premier Jesu Han sat in her office, reading intelligence reports. She was the elected leader of Earth's unified government, a position that usually dealt with peaceful matters. Now she faced the greatest crisis in human history. Admiral Suji Nam stood before her desk. "The intelligence is confirmed. The Kreth are massing every ship they have. 2,000 vessels, maybe more. They're planning to attack Earth directly." "How long do we have?" Jisoo asked. 3 weeks, maybe a bit less. Jisoo looked at the casualty reports from the Valorian rescue still on her desk. 12,000 names, 12,000 families mourning, and now the entire planet faced extinction. "What are our options?" she asked. "Limited," Suji admitted. "We lost 47 ships in the battle. We're repairing the damaged ones as fast as we can, but we'll still be outnumbered at least 10 to 1. "What does the Galactic Council say?" Suji's expression turned bitter. "They're debating. Some species want to help. Others say we brought this on ourselves. The debate could take weeks. By then it'll be too late." Jisoo stood and walked to the window. Outside, she could see the city below, millions of people going about their lives. They did not know yet. The government was keeping it quiet to prevent panic. "Admiral, I need an honest answer. Can we win?" Suji was silent for a moment. "No, Premier. Not if we're alone, but I don't intend to surrender." "Neither do I." Jisoo turned back to her desk. "Contact Captain Junho Park. I want him back on Earth. We'll need every experienced commander we have." She paused. "And Admiral, prepare a speech for me. The people need to know what's coming. They deserve the truth." On the Tenacity, Junho received the orders to return home. He stood in the cargo bay, watching Valorian families prepare to transfer to their own ship. They were going to continue to their new colony world, escorted by a Galactic Council fleet that had finally arrived. Dr. Hana was saying goodbye to little Nari. The Valorian girl had stayed close to Hana throughout the battle and aftermath. They had finally located Nari's parents, who had been in a different section of the colony ship. "I don't want to go," Nari said, hugging Hana tightly. "I want to stay with you." Hana knelt down to the child's level, Sweetheart, you need to be with your parents. They love you so much and they need you. Will I see you again? Hana thought about the Kreth fleet heading toward Earth. She thought about the impossible odds. I hope so, Nari. I really hope so. Nari's parents came over, and they bowed deeply to Hana. Thank you, Doctor. Thank you for saving our daughter and for saving all of us. Take care of her, Hana said softly. As the Valorians departed, Minho came to stand beside Hana. You heard about the Kreth? Yes. Hana watched the families leaving. We saved these people. Now we have to save our own. Do you think we can? Hana looked at him. I think we're humans, Minho. We do impossible things when we have to. Junho gathered his crew in the mess hall. I'll be honest with you. Earth faces an extinction-level threat. The Kreth are coming with everything they have. Command is calling us home to help defend our planet. He looked at each face. But I want you to know something. What we did was right. We saved 50,000 innocent people. If I had to make that choice again, I would, every single time. The crew remained silent for a moment. Then Yuna spoke up. Captain, we're with you. We answered one SOS. Now we'll answer another. Earth's calling, and we're coming home. The Tenacity turned toward Earth and jumped to hyperspace. Behind them, the Valorian colony ship continued safely to its destination, carrying people who would never forget the humans who came when they called for help. Ahead of them, Earth waited, unaware that because they chose compassion over safety, the entire galaxy was about to watch and see what humanity was truly made of. Earth had 3 weeks to prepare for annihilation. Every shipyard worked around the clock. Every defense station was reinforced. Every able citizen who wanted to fight was given basic training. The planet became a fortress. Premier Jisoo Han addressed the people from the United Earth building. Her speech was broadcast across the entire planet. Citizens of Earth, she began, her voice calm despite the fear she felt. In 3 weeks, we will face the greatest threat our species has ever known. The Kreth are coming with 2,000 warships to destroy us. Why? Because we chose to save 50,000 innocent lives. Because we answered a cry for help. She paused, looking directly into the camera. Some might say we made a mistake, that we should have stayed out of it. I am here to tell you that we made the right choice. We showed the galaxy who we are. We showed them that humanity values life, all life, not just our own. Her voice grew stronger. Now we must show them something else. We must show them that we will defend those values with everything we have. We will not surrender. We will not run. We stand together, and we fight together. For Earth, for humanity, for every being in this galaxy who believes that compassion is worth defending. The speech ended. Across Earth, people watched in silence. Then they got to work. But something unexpected began to happen. Ships started arriving at Earth. Not human ships, alien ships. The first to arrive were the Valorians. Their entire defensive fleet, small as it was, jumped into Earth's solar system. Ambassador Dern contacted Earth Command. We cannot let humanity face this threat alone, he said simply. You saved us. Now we stand with you. The next day, more ships arrived. A species called the Torvan, known for their peaceful nature, sent a squadron. We heard your speech, Premier, their commander said. You spoke of defending compassion. We believe in that too. Then came the Makan, sending medical ships and supplies. The Yoth sent engineers to help with Earth's defenses. Individual aliens from dozens of species arrived on transport ships, asking to fight alongside humans. Among them was Dr. Sora Lee, a Valorian scientist. She went directly to Earth's military research facility and asked to speak with Dr. Eunji Lim, Earth's leading weapons researcher. I want to help, Sora said. The Valorians have technology for shield harmonics that can disrupt Kreth weapons. It's classified, but I don't care. You saved my people. This is the least I can do. Eunji looked at the Valorian woman with gratitude. Thank you. We'll need every advantage we can get. By the time the Kreth Armada arrived, Earth was not alone. 34 alien species had sent forces. It was still nowhere near enough to match 2,000 Kreth warships, but it was more than Earth had hoped for. Commander Yoongi Kim coordinated the defense from Earth Command. He was a genius at strategy, able to see patterns others missed. "We can't match their numbers," he told the assembled commanders, "but we can make them pay for every meter of space they take. We turn Earth's solar system into a death trap." The plan was simple but brutal. Mines were laid throughout the system. Defense platforms were positioned at key points. Every asteroid, every moon, every piece of space debris was turned into a potential weapon. Captain Junho Park had been given command of a dreadnought, the Defiant. It was 10 times larger than the Tenacity, armed with weapons he had never dreamed of using. Minho served as his tactical officer again. Yuna had been promoted to chief engineer of the entire defensive fleet. When the Kreth arrived, they came as a single massive wave. 2,000 ships, blocking out the stars. Warlord Grath broadcast his message to Earth. "Humans, you have one chance. Surrender now, and we will allow some of you to live as slaves. Resist, and we will destroy every last one of you." Premier Jisu's response was broadcast to every ship in the system. "This is Earth. We don't surrender. Come and try." The battle began. The Kreth fleet moved forward confidently, expecting easy victory. They hit the first minefield and lost 30 ships in the initial explosions. Grath roared in anger but pushed forward. Human and alien ships met the Kreth in coordinated groups. They used the same unpredictable tactics from the Valorian rescue, but now they had more help. Valorian ships provided sensor support. Torvan ships had powerful shields and protected smaller vessels. The coalition worked together in ways the Kreth could not counter. Junho commanded his section of the defense. "All ships, remember what Commander Yoongi said. We're not trying to win quickly. We're bleeding them. Make them pay for every ship they destroy." The battle raged for 6 days. It was the longest space combat in galactic history. On the third day, Minho identified the Kreth flagship. "Captain, if we can take out Grath, their command structure will collapse." "Agreed," Junho said. "But we can't get close enough. Their flagship is in the center of their formation." Yuna's voice came over the communications. "Captain, what if we don't go around them? What if we go through them?" "Through them?" Junho asked. "I can overload our shields to maximum. It'll burn out the system, but we'll survive long enough to ram the flagship." "Well, probably." Junho looked at Minho. The tactical officer nodded. "It's insane, sir, but insane has worked for us so far." "All right, Yuna, do it." The Defiant charged forward, shields glowing brightly as Yuna pushed them beyond their limits. Kreth ships fired at them, but the overloaded shields held. The dreadnought smashed through 2 Kreth vessels, damaged 3 more, and emerged in front of Grath's flagship. "Fire everything," Junho ordered. The Defiant unleashed every weapon it had. Torpedoes, missiles, energy beams, everything. The Kreth flagship's shields collapsed. The massive ship started to break apart. Grath himself appeared on the communication screen, his face twisted with rage and fear. "You humans are insane." "No," Junho said calmly. "We're determined. There's a difference." The Kreth flagship exploded. Without their commander, the pirate fleet began to fall apart. Some ships tried to flee. Others fought to the last. But their organization was gone. By the 6th day, the Kreth fleet was shattered. Over 1,400 ships were destroyed. The rest scattered into deep space, never to reunite. Earth had won, but the cost was terrible. The planet's defenses were in ruins. 48 human ships destroyed, thousands more casualties, but Earth was still standing. In the aftermath, something remarkable happened. The Galactic Council held an emergency session. Every species that had stayed neutral now looked at the footage of the battle. They saw not just humans defending themselves, but dozens of alien species fighting alongside them. The council leader addressed Ambassador Minji. "Ambassador Huang, the council formally apologizes for our inaction. We should have helped sooner. We would like to invite humanity to join the council's security committee." Minji looked around the chamber. She saw respect now, where before there had been only fear and confusion. "We accept, on one condition. Every species that fought beside us at Earth also gets recognition. They stood with us when it mattered." The council agreed. 10 years later, the Tenacity had been converted into a museum ship. Captain Junho Park stood on its bridge with his granddaughter, who was visiting Earth from the Valorian colony where her mother, Nari, now lived with her family. "Grandpa," the little girl asked, "why did great-grandmother Hana adopt someone from space?" Junho smiled. "Because your great-grandmother understood something important. Family isn't just about blood. It's about who stands beside you when things get hard." Outside the museum, Earth had changed. The planet was now home to members of 40 different species. Refugees, students, workers, all living together. They had come because they heard a story about a species that answered when someone called for help. In the Galactic Council chambers, a new plaque had been installed. It read simply, "We heard them. We came. We care." Ambassador Minji, now retired, sometimes looked at that plaque and smiled. Humanity had not become the strongest species in the galaxy. They had not become the richest or most advanced. But they had become something more important. They had become the species others called when they needed help. The species that proved compassion was not weakness but the greatest strength of all. And in the darkness of space, on the edge of explored territory, a small colony was under attack. They sent out a desperate message hoping someone would hear. Within minutes, they received a response. "This is the Earth Defense Force. Help is on the way. Hold on." Because that's what humans did. They answered when someone called. Every single time.